Hey, peace, love, harmony, and light. What's going on? What's going on, family? This is Chief Kalanago, parting the rocking chair with all the squeaking and all that. But I'm gonna give you guys some time to get into this live
Harmony
feed.
and light.
What's going on? What's going on? Let's get this thing popping early today. It's time for school. It's time for the classes. All right. Again, we can't allow the beast system to educate us. All right, we got to drop that real knowledge that's going to free your mind, spirit, and soul. All right, so give you guys some time to chime in. um it's a beautiful day in New York. It's not that humid, but it's hot. It's hot. Had to come out here and definitely step out. Got some fruits, and I'm back in the house. So yeah, about to do this video. As you could see, the topic today is the Real ID Act, failure to identify, Indian Citizen Act, and more. We're gonna get into a few things today. All right. I know yesterday's video, especially the one about the Moors, peace and love, Sheldon. I know yesterday's video, especially the one about the Moors, was gonna get into people's emotions. Once again, let me just say that Grand Rising, authentic one. Let me just say that, right? I'm not gonna apologize for telling the truth. All right, I'm not gonna do that. However, what I will apologize for is for the people who know the truth, and because of the emotions, they get upset. I spoke nothing but the truth yesterday, but this video had so many dislikes. And once again, I'm not doing this for likes. I'm doing it to tell the truth. And I will reiterate that a lot of my friends that I have, close friends that I consider family, they call themselves Moors. And we get along just fine. We ain't got no beef. You feel me? But a lot of these guilty Moors, they get mad when people speak the truth. Now, I'm always the one for unity. At the ending of the day, like I said, let's put our differences aside and come together because we have a common enemy. All right. But at the same time, the truth must be told because you guys, or women, whatever, you haven't asked for forgiveness of the Aborigines for what you have done to us. Okay. And then to even add more salt to injury, you are still here in 2018 trying to colonize us by telling us we are Moors. So, that's that to me, that's disheartening. You feel me? That's disheartening because the true people that call themselves Moors first, they're from Africa. And when they came to our land and traded with us, we accepted them as brothers. We did. And then they betrayed us and brought the colonizers, the pale man, to our land. And that's a fact. I mean, I see so many dislikes for the video yesterday, but yet still nobody could refute anything that I said because I showed the facts. So once again, it's facts over feelings. And we have to get over this hurt and betrayal. Yes, those people betrayed us. Even some of the American Aborigines, some Indian chiefs as well, betrayed our own people. And we have to come to that realization, and the truth about that is the only way to move on. Okay, it's the only way to move on. And we have a lot of, yes, American Aborigines who call themselves Moors. Now, whether they call themselves Moors because they got indoctrinated or they truly believe that they are Moors, that's cool. But know the true history of the people who call themselves Moors from Africa that came here to bring the pale man to help enslave us, to help take over our birthright. Okay, and the fact remains that we never called ourselves Moors until they came here and classified everybody as Moors. The same way we never call ourselves Black or African American. Those are titles that we never called ourselves. So I'm going to continue to speak the truth. I don't hate Moors the same way I don't hate Caucasian people. I just hate the ideology of what they're trying to impose on my people. Stop forcing us to assimilate. Because the same thing the colonizers did, and they're still doing, you're trying to do it to us. You know what I mean? If we all have a right to self-identify, why are you mad when we say that's not who we are? The same way we are not Caucasians, it's like a Caucasian gonna get mad and tell me, oh, well, you're Caucasian. Why are you mad? Nah, I'm not Caucasian. I'm not pale. So why is a pale man going to get mad by me saying that? I'm not black. The real black people are the pale people, because the etymology of the word black means pale, means leprosy. I ain't got leprosy. I'm not pale. So once again, it's facts over feelings, man. Stop getting hurt because a brother is here speaking the truth. I'm not saying that we shouldn't come together and get along. I've said that from the very beginning. In fact, that was my disclaimer. Okay, we all have to come together and get along because we have one oppressor. But I want to do it as who my ancestors were, as an American Aboriginal, not a Moor, not an Israelite, okay, not an African, because that's not who my ancestors called themselves. Okay, we were tribal people. As a matter of fact, like I said, Carib and Anion-Wea, meaning that the principal people, the Cherokee, that's my lineage, that's my bloodline, that's my nationality. So don't force those foreign things on us. That's all I'm just saying. And y'all always talk about speaking truth and standing on truth and talking about etymology. Here I am dropping the truth, showing the facts, and y'all hating the videos because you up in your feelings. And you still haven't apologized to my ancestors and the American Aborigines for the part that you played in the colonization of our land. It's the only way we're going to move on is if people accept the responsibility. Okay? Hold yourself accountable for what your ancestors did. Because you're still in our home. You're still in our land. So don't be mad at me for speaking the truth, man. And then you want to get personal, start talking about my feathers. I'm always going to rock my feathers. As a matter of fact, the principles of Mayat is represented by feathers on how light your heart could get. And that's in the Americas. Don't let nobody fool you and let you think it's across the waters. No, it's not. Okay? It's not. It's right here. We are the ones who used to rock them feathers. So all the lies that's being told, man, I'm here to debunk those lies. I'm going to speak the truth. And whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter to me. There is no such thing as half truth, some truth. The truth is the truth. Stop giving the people some of the information and hiding the rest of the information. Let them know the truth. Let them know that, yes, people call themselves, they came here and they all classified us as Moors because we had the same complexion. But we didn't call ourselves that. Not the American Aborigines. So don't try to force that on us. No. You're trying to colonize us. You're trying to take away our birthright, the same thing that your ancestors did years ago. And you're still here trying to do it. And you get mad when we speak the truth. Don't do that. We got work to do, man. We got work to do. And the more division that's happening because people want to label us as who we say we are not, then it's going to continue to be a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. And all the colonizer have to do is drop 20 stacks in your hand or even 10 racks in your hand. And you're going to do the same thing that your ancestors did. Sell our people out. And I'm not just talking about the Moors. I'm talking about the so-called black people, the so-called African American, the true Aboriginal people of this land, because we have a history of selling each other out. And we got to stop that. Because the personal gain, we have to think of the broader picture. We have to think of the bigger picture. Am I going to sell my people out for 10 pieces of silver just so that I could be good? But yet still everybody else, the entire race is suffering because of me. At what point are we going to stop selling out? So don't hate the information. Don't hate the facts because you feel a certain way. I dropped the facts, I showed the proof, and nobody could debunk it because it's true. So why are you mad? Come on, man. Let us forget our differences. Again, we have to learn to forgive each other for the part that we played in the situation that we're in today. All right? None of y'all have ever asked for forgiveness for bringing the pale man to our land, teaching them our languages because they couldn't speak our languages. Who were the interpreters? You were. All right. When the Spaniards came here, when the Portuguese came here, they couldn't speak our dialects. But because we were already trading with you and because we had the same complexion, we thought we was family. So y'all learned our languages and y'all taught it to them because you were the interpreters. Okay. That's the only way we were able to communicate. So when I'm speaking the truth, man, don't be mad at me, bruh. Don't or sis, whoever it is, I don't care. Don't be mad at me for speaking the truth. Because y'all learned our ways and taught it to them. And that's why we are in the situation today. And even some American Aborigines played a part as well because there were chiefs who took bribes to sell out their own tribes. So I'm going to keep it 100. So accept the responsibility, and we have to learn to forgive each other for the hurt that we caused each other as two children of two neighboring continents, the Americas and so-called Africa. We have to get over this hurt, okay? Because even up to this present day, you have the real Africans who come here, okay? And they just want to use us, use every opportunity that they get and take everything back and send it back to Africa. All right? And that's a fact. That's a fact because it has always been that way. People came here for two reasons: to learn or to have a better opportunity, the so-called American dream. Because we have always lived that life. We were not living in ghettos. We were not living in reservations. We taught the world civilization. So when facts is being spoken, don't get your emotions into it. Because now you are guilty. Okay, you're carrying the same trait, okay, and intentions that your deceitful ancestors did, whether you're an Aborigine or whatever you call yourself. I'm not disputing that you are not an Aborigine. I'm not saying that. I never said that. I did say that there are a lot of American Aborigines who say that they are Moors. As a matter of fact, I have some of them in my family, and we get along just fine. But it's the dirty cut Moors, the ones who are dirty, that's continuing to spread this perpetual lie. Because they have the blood of their ancestors running through them. And they don't want to repent. Are you going to continue to sell us out? Are you going to continue to try to colonize us by calling us what we know we are not? Why are you doing that? And even with our cousins on the African continent, I never said we never had African lineage. I never said that because we were trading way before the pale man came to our land. And we were not just trading goods and services, okay? Their men came and went up in our women. Our men went and went up in their women. So we've been trading energy, you know, and sex and all those things. That has always gone. It has always happened. All right? But we are not Africans with American ancestry. We are Americans with some African ancestry. In other words, we are Americans first. So don't come here telling us this is who we are when that name was only applied to people on the African continent. Okay? Don't do my people that injustice. And when I speak the truth, y'all getting personal. I'm not going to stand for it, man. Like I said, I'm here to do work. I'm here to drop the jewels on people and drop the truth and let them do what they want to do with it. All right? So let me, Grand Rising, Della, peace and love. So let me get into this this lecture today. And like I said, this is all about love. It's all about trying to come together, but people have to know the truth so that they don't get caught up in the mix. Okay? So that they don't get caught up in the mix. The colonizers, they watching. Okay? They watching, and they got a hand deep in all the people who are trying to deceive and lie to the American Aborigine because they don't want us to step up back into our rightful place. In other words, they don't want us to take our birthrights, okay? And trying to tell us that we are all Moors is one of those lies as well of the colonizers, all right? They supporting that movement because we are all not that. The same way that I'm not black, I'm not African American. We will call that as well. Are you going to get mad at me for saying that I'm not? Because anytime we call ourselves anything outside of who we are, it puts us in another jurisdiction. It puts us in another how I put it, nationality. It puts us in another landmass, and it takes us away from who we are. So it's going to make us hard to, so that we could fight for what's ours, man. This is our home. This is our birthright. Okay? It is ours. And what render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Eventually, we're going to get it back. So don't be mad at me for standing up on the shoulders of my ancestors and speaking the truth. That doesn't resonate in my spirit. When they came to me in visions, I never saw Moors with feathers. Every time an ancestor come and talk to me in a vision, I see feathers. Okay? That I see head pieces. That's what I see. That's what they show me. So I know the connection I have to my ancestors, man. And every time they show me something and I speak on it, within 5 minutes to 10 minutes, it becomes a reality. Somebody call me or send me an email to confirm it. So I know I'm on track. I know I'm on point. I know I'm connected to my ancestors. And nobody got to tell me that. I know who I am. Because every time they come to me in a vision, the brother or the sister, they got feathers. They got their head pieces. So why you over here talking about my feathers and hating what's so, what's part of my culture? But yes, so you call yourself an American Aborigine. That's hypocrisy, man. So stop it. That's why I said a lot of y'all ain't real. You're not real. You are not real. Okay? You are helping the colonizers again do the same thing what they did to my ancestors, and we're not going to have it. We are not going to have it. All right? We have never lost a war, even when y'all joined them, even when our cousins from Africa joined the Pale Man, okay, to help fight us. We never lost the physical war. You know why? Because the Most High got our backs. Our ancestors got our backs. The only problem is my people got to wake up and be reconnected. They got to ask for forgiveness for turning their backs on their ancestors and on the Most High. And just watch this whole thing drop. That's all it takes. So my job is to plant those seeds. Speak the truth. Don't get us caught up in your fabrication. No, we're not going to do that because you're trying to force us into a box that's going to make us immigrants, make us United States citizens. We ain't doing that, okay? We didn't sign no deals with the devil. We ain't doing that, bruh. We are not doing that. We don't want to sleep in bed with the devil. And this is what all this is about, so that my people could free themselves from the beast. Now, whether you want to do it or not, that's on you. But everyone is a slave. And with that being said, the link below, go get a copy of the book, Newsflash, Everyone's a Slave Unless. And for those of you who actually got your copy yesterday, your book is in the mail today. I'm not playing no games. All right? I'm here to do this for real. So like I said, let us get into the lecture today, the Real ID Act. As you know, the Real ID Act was passed, okay? It was brought back in 2018, I think January 22nd, somewhere around there, where they kind of made it law, right? Now, that's nothing new. It's a legislation or a bill that was passed since in 2005. Okay, it's been there, but they brought it back and they made it what they call a so-called law. All right, but it's not a law. All right, it's not a law. All right, Jonathan, peace and love, peace and love. All right. Oh, the day's going great, man. The day's going great. Just have to get some steam out the way. You know what I mean? Because like I said, man, I can't deal with no fake people. All right. I can't. The only way for us to get through this, we have to be genuine. We have to be truthful. We have to be righteous. Okay. We have to allow the spirit to move us. and stop living in the flesh, man. Okay? Because that's the problem. That's called that is what caused the problem in the first place. Living in the flesh. Okay? They came here. They saw all the gold we had. They saw all the pearls we had. We were, you heard about this, the streets of diamonds, right? That heaven is paved with the streets of gold. That's what they are talking about. The Americas. When they came to the Americas, they saw heaven, the streets of gold, the land of milk and honey. And they got greedy. They wanted it all. And that's why we are in the situation we are in today. Because of the needs and the greed of the flesh. We forgot that we were spirit first. Because we all share the spiritual system, okay, where we live in a symbiotic relationship with nature. Okay? We honor things in nature. Everything came from the Most High. So having a representation, okay, let's just say the wind or the sun, and honoring that, that is still honoring the Most High. It is not an idol, but that's what you were taught. That's what you were taught. So because of greed, they wanted it all for themselves. So they wanted to take out the firstborn, which is the American continent. Don't let nobody fool you. We are not the new world. We are the old world. After Peleg, that supposed, flood of Noah, the American continent was the first landmass that put her head up out of that water. Don't let them fool you with his story. Learn your story. They know who you are. And that's why they're trying to continue to force you to assimilate. Take another identity that's not yours. But I'm here to give you the truth, and you do what you want with it. Because I know when I live here physically, my words will speak on. Because they cannot hide these videos no more. They cannot hide what I'm putting into people's hearts. And that's why the Most High from the very beginning said that I put my laws in the hearts and minds of men. And I'm talking about the L-O-R-E. That is a word, and I'm going to show it to y'all today. We're about to get into some things, all right? Like I said, I'm going to use, my brother, he's a brother Jermaine on Facebook. He always used that quote, facts over feelings, all right? So that's what we're dealing with today, facts over feelings. Y'all could get into your emotions. It's all good. Men get emotional, women get emotional. That's just what it is. But I'm going to get into the facts. The facts. I'm going to let the facts speak for itself. And you do what you want with the information. Okay? Prove me wrong. That's just all I'm saying. Prove me wrong. Show me in the 12th century where American Aborigines was calling themselves Moors. Show me that. I rest my case. Y'all better stop playing these games with me, man. I ain't here to play no damn games. Or my people are suffering, man. For real. Okay? They are suffering. And I ain't playing around. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is this, right? We're going to get into the Real ID Act. So let me share my screen for you guys. Okay, good. Right here. Okay? The Real ID Act. Let us go here. And I know you guys could see this, all right? So I'm not going to assume, but let me make it a little bigger. All right, maybe 125%. All right, beautiful. That should be good. Okay, so this is Homeland Security site, and they're talking about the Real ID Act. But before we, you know what? Let's do that first. All right, the Real ID Act establishes minimum security standards for license, assurance, and production, and prohibits federal agencies from accepting for certain purposes driver's license and identification cards from states not meeting the Act's minimum standards. The purposes covered by the Act are accessing federal facilities, entering nuclear power plants, and boarding federally regulated commercial aircraft. Once again, you have to know the difference between law and what's illegal. What they are doing is legal, but it's not lawful, because there is no such thing as a real ID. As a matter of fact, there is no such thing as a legal name. Okay? There is no such thing as that. But before we continue, let us look at the definition of legal name in Black's Law Dictionary, second edition. It says right here, the term that is given to your first name and your last name. Middle names are considered to be immaterial. Okay, so that is a legal name. What's on the birth certificate? First, middle, and last name. Today in this video, I'm going to prove to you that you don't have a name. I'm going to prove to you that you don't have a last name. So therefore, the Real ID Act cannot be a law. It's only policies. And with policies, it's an invitation. Okay, now you have a choice to accept it or reject it. They cannot force it on, well, they can, but they should not force it on you. It's voluntary. But the only reason why it's been forced on the people is because the people are not aware, the people have no knowledge, and people perish for the lack of knowledge. And that's why I am giving you the information so that you could stand up and not be a slave. Okay, so let us continue with the Real ID Act. As you could see, the current status of the state's territories. Please select a state territory for current status. Now you could see all those states in green. They have compliant, meaning that they have put that into full effect. All those in the yellow states, they got an extension, possibly because they are not sure if they want their citizens, if they want that forced on their citizens. Okay, so that's the difference between the green and the yellow. Those in the green, they have already complied. Okay, you have Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Wyoming, Kansas, Arizona, LA. All those places have already complied. As you can see, those in yellow, they are still on the fence. They got an extension. So I guess Congress is still trying to force their arms to do that. Okay, and those in red, those in blue is on the review. Well, there's nothing in blue, and not compliant or no compliant is in red. So far, some of them, again, they have complied, and some of them are still on the fence. All right. Now it says, no, for states, territories that are not compliant and do not have an extension, Real ID enforcement begins on February 5th, 2018. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, announced on December 20th, 2013, a phased enforcement plan for the Real ID Act, the Act, as passed by Congress, that will implement the Act in a measured, fair, and responsible way. To secure driver's licenses and identification documents are a vital component of our national security framework. The Real ID Act, passed by Congress in 2005, enacted the 9/11 Commission's recommendation that the federal government set standards for the issuance of sources of identification, such as driver's licenses. The Act established minimum security standards for license issuance and production, and prohibits federal agencies from accepting, for certain purposes, driver's licenses and identification cards from states not meeting the Act's minimum standard. Now, that's a little bit troublesome, because I'll tell you why. If you have a so-called driver's license, which again is unlawful, okay, but it's legal only when you're doing commerce, right? That's a form of identification. Why they're saying all of a sudden that the driver's license is not a real ID? You have to read between the lines. You have to realize that you are being pulled again deeper into the belly of the beast. And a lot of people may think, well, there's no problem with that, but that's a problem. And they are giving states a certain amount of time so that they all could, adopt this act. But it's an act. Remember, an act is an act. An act is not real. Okay? When you are acting, it's not real. It's a play. It's a script. So they have to pass acts, because it cannot be real. Those things are not laws. So they cannot call it real. There is no such thing as a real act. There's no such thing as a real ID. Okay? Denzel Washington is an actor. The man, Denzel Washington, okay, when he plays a role, He is not the role that he's playing. He becomes the role. In other words, he is acting. All right? I have given you guys examples before. Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles. He did a hell of a great job. But guess what? Jamie Foxx is not Ray Charles. He's not real. Okay? He is not the real thing. So therefore, he's acting as Ray Charles. But Jamie Foxx is not Ray Charles. So therefore, the act is not real. It's an act. And you have the will to accept it or not. They cannot force it on you. And no government could make any law that's going to bring harm to the citizens. Okay? They cannot do that because the people are the creators. Why would the people create a creation that's going to harm them? And these codes and statutes are harming the people because they are infringing on our creator-given rights. There is no such thing as a real ID. Because the only thing that's real is the spirit. Okay? The spirit, man and woman, which has no identification because you cannot identify the I am. The I am is just I am, meaning that it's everything and it's nothing, so that you cannot identify it. That's why in the allegorical Bible, when the allegorical Moses went up to the mount and spoke to the allegorical God, and Moses asked, "What was your name?" The allegorical God said that my name is I am, and that shall be my name forever. Meaning that I cannot put a label on my name. I cannot put a label on who I am. I am. So therefore, if we are made in the likeness and image of that I am, then we are the same. So therefore, we have no names. So there is no such thing as an identification. How do you identify the I am? How do you identify the Most High? You see, so we have to get a true comprehension of what they are trying to do. They're trying to force you into, again, another 400 years of slavery. That's what they're doing. But they are making it seem like it's a law. However, they're using words such as act. And that's the key. It's an act. It's not real. It's all color of law. Those are all legal terms, statutory terms, municipal business, if I may. It is not law. And as long as you understand that and stand on your grounds, they cannot force those things on you. Or yes, they will try the scare tactic, and they will, yes, the fear. They always try to impose fear on people. But don't be afraid. Because again, the government was created by we, the people. And they are our servants. We are the public. Okay? And they are public servants. They told you that. We are public servants. Therefore, if we are the public, it means that the public is the master and you are the servant. Where have you ever seen the servant is telling the master what to do? Only here in the United States. And when government's trying to control people's lives. So there's no such thing, okay, as a real ID. So let us continue with that here. Where we are at, Real ID Act. So we already went through that. Now, to prove to you that there's no such, we don't have names, I'm going to prove it to you, no such thing as last names. Okay? It's only when the birth certificate was created. All right, let me just stop sharing that, and so we could get back to this. All right? Okay. So it's only when the birth certificate was created that system of first, middle, and last name was created. Okay? We don't have last names. We don't have last names because there is a saying that family comes first. So if your family comes first, then why are they telling you that your family name is last? You see the trick. We don't have last names, brothers and sisters. We don't have last names. There's no such thing as a legal name because legal is not real. That is the fictitious world. It only exists on paper. That's the only place it exists. Okay? We have surnames. And let me show you the etymology of sir, so you will get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. All right? Let me share my screen again. Again, I'm here to give you the knowledge. I don't have time to play. All right? I don't deal with negativity. I don't deal with fake people. All right? This is real to me, man, because my people are in trouble. For real. So I ain't got time to be playing no damn games. Okay, etymology. Etymology of sir. Okay, etymology of sir. Let us look that up. The original meaning. All right. So for all those of you that want to play semantics with words and use etymology when it's convenient for you, don't play these games with me, man. All right. Sir, word forming element meaning over, above, beyond, in addition, especially in words from Anglo-French and Old French. All right. From Latin, super, above, over, from pi root, upper. Okay, over. That means that your surname, okay, what they call that last name, is above everything else. That's why I don't call people sir, because whether it's S-U-R is the same thing or S-I-R, it means that they are above you. And the colonizers brought that here so that we could call them sir. Okay, what you looking at, boy? Don't call, call me sir, because it means that they are above you. And that's what these corporate entities, they train people to do. Every time you call the phone, well, sir, well, sir, well, sir. You see, because they are trained. They are programmed. And every time I tell them, listen, don't call me sir. I'm not above you. They apologize, but yet still 2 seconds later, they call me sir again because they are programmed. They are programmed to put people above them. So therefore, your surname, okay, it's a word forming element meaning above and over. So therefore, your family name comes first. It's above and over. It supersedes any other name. So therefore, you don't have a last name. How could it be over? How could it be above? How could it be beyond? How could it be super, but at the same time be last? That's a contradiction. It is a contradiction. So therefore, don't allow anybody to tell you you have a last name. When they ask me for my first, middle, and last name, I tell them I don't have a name, number one. I don't have a last name. I do have a surname. Now they argue and get into all the, it doesn't matter. But I just let them know for the record because they always record their conversations. Once again, like I said, you have to know the language. You have to speak the language. And once you get a copy of my book, all those things are broken down. I'm teaching you how to free yourself. I'm teaching you how to be a man and a woman again and forget all the titles, because you see, the titles is what got us in trouble in the first place, because we wanted to be like our colonizers. When we knew damn well the Creator just made man and woman in their likeness and image. But we wanted to be like them. We wanted to eat of that fruit that they were eating. We wanted that. We just wanted to be them, basically. So they use that as an opportunity to brainwash our people. All right. So just to reiterate with the name, we don't have names. We are known as. So when they ask me what's my name, like I said, I'm always on point so that they can't entrap me with any conversation. Okay. First things I do first, I let them know that my conversation is being recorded for training purposes the same way theirs is being recorded. If they say, well, I can't speak on a recorded line, well, I tell them send me an email because I want it in writing. I always want proof because they are not going to use anything so that I could incriminate myself. I'm on top of my game. I know what I'm doing. So I always tell them I don't have a name, but I'm known as, whether it may be the name that my mother gave me, which is Kenrick, or the title that I gave myself, Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle, because I have a right to self-identify. Like I said, my life is an open book. I keep it real with my people. I have never deceived my people or lied to my people. I would never sell my people out. because I know the spiritual ramifications that I would have to pay if I do such a heinous, I'm going to call it a crime, because it will be a crime against my ancestors. So I got to keep it 100 every single time. All right. So I'm teaching you how to win in this system. That's why when you go to court, they always tell you, put up your hand and say that is you. That is the problem. As soon as you say that's you, you have assumed the liability for everything that that legal entity has done. But it's not you. It only exists in a paper world. That's the only place it exists. So open up your minds, brothers and sisters. Learn. Share the information. Don't be so haste. Okay, don't be so much in haste to rush and do things. Make sure you understand it and understand it, so that you could stand and speak and be and articulate yourself. Be fluent and learn the words that's not gonna put you in their jurisdiction to trap yourself, because they will try to trap you. Okay? So we don't have first, middle, and last names. Okay, that is only a legal thing. And legal is not real. It's an act. Like they said, it's an act. It's not real. If you are acting, you are not real. I hope that makes sense. If you are acting, it's not real. That's why they have to, all the codes and everything that they are passing, it has to be called an act. It has to be an act. Okay? And if Denzel do a movie and they promote in the movie, it is up to you to buy a ticket to go to that movie theater to see if you want to be part of that act. Okay? And that's the truth. We don't have to buy the ticket. We don't have to go to the movie, but you choose to because it's voluntary. But you don't know it's voluntary because they tell you it's the law. No, it's not the law. It is not the law. And I'm going to show you the difference. Okay? There's a difference between the written law and the spoken law. You see, the spoken law is what the Creator gave us and put in our hearts and mind. Let me show you right now. Definition. Definition. Okay? All right. So I'm going to prove it to you because, like I said, I like to prove everything I say. I just don't want to talk about it. I want you to see it for yourself, because some people say seeing is believing. All right, then. So let me show you with your own eyes. All right. Here we go. Law. L-O-R-E. How many of you knew that that was actually a word? That law is a law that came from spoken tradition, okay? Oral history. That's why I tell people, for us to prove who we are, all it takes is our family members to tell us that's who we are. If your great-grandmother said that you were Cherokee, then that's who you are. No institute cannot tell you that's not who you are, because our oral history is what held credence. Our great-grandmother knew who her great-grandchildren were. We didn't need a birth certificate for that. We didn't need a license or identification for that. No, we didn't. Because that was passed down through traditions. So that is the law that the Most High gave us in our hearts and mind. And I'm going to show it to you again. I'm going to use the allegorical Bible and show you where the Most High said that. They said he, but I'm saying they. I'm going to say they, because I don't think the Most High is a he. I just think the Most High encompasses both, both qualities of masculine and feminine, but it's not a he or a she. It's an energy that manifests as male and female. All right. So, and that's just my take on that. All right. I'm not here to debate that or argue that. Now, let us, I'm just going to put what they have. God put the law in the hearts and mind. Okay, let us see if we could find okay, from which within the hearts of man come evil. See, in front it was clear. You let me see. All right, what I know that verse is somewhere. Okay, let me see. God said, give me a second here, guys. Please bear with me. God said he put Lords in the huts, but it is covenant that I will make. Let me see. I think that's it. Jeremiah 31:33, I think. All right, let me just make sure. If not, it could be Hebrews, but let me see. Da, 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 da. Okay, there we go. So it's Jeremiah 31:33. But this is the covenant I will make. Yo, what the hell? What happened here? Whoa. What would he write? Yo, hold on for a second, guys. Hold on for a second, guys. Okay, cool. There we go. So I'm reading here where you see the cursor is at, okay? Jeremiah 31:33. But this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. All right, and I'm just going to use what they have in here, but we know how I feel about that. I will put my law in their minds and write it in their hearts. So again, how do you see the law in somebody's hearts and mind? Okay, because it's spoken. It's spoken by the word. It was passed down, the Lore. That's what the Creator, the Most High, put in our hearts. Okay, a body of tradition and knowledge on a subject or held by a particular group. All right, typically passed from person to person by word of mouth. That was our tradition because we were not destructive. We had, again, a symbiotic relationship with nature where we didn't cut down trees to go write things on because it was written in our hearts and in our minds. So that was the law. However, this character named Moses went up to the mountain, okay, and came down and then told people that God, the God gave him this definition of law. This law, okay, definition of law, a binding custom or practice of a community, a rule, conduct, or action prescribed or formally recognized as binding, enforced by controlling authority. The whole body of such customs, practices, or rules the courts exist to uphold, interpret, and apply. So the truth of the matter is, the Most High gave us the Lore in our hearts and mind. And Moses went to the mountain and came down and said that God gave him the LAW. Now it's a binding contract that they are enforcing on us. But as you could see, the only authority controlling by a controlling authority, trying to tell us that their law, that's their law. But the truth of the matter is the only controlling authority is the Most High. The only controlling authority is the Most High. So those are the only laws that we are supposed to live by, not the LAW of men, but the LORE of the Most High, the one that was put in our hearts and minds. I'm here to open up your minds today, and I hope you guys are with me because we got some work to do. All right? So I hope that's making sense thus far. All right. Now, question was asked, can we take the name back? The name is not yours. I mean, there's a certain thing called commerce. Okay. Commerce was introduced when the colonizers came to our land, because what we did was we had a barter system. Okay, where we gave you something and you gave us something. We didn't call it commerce. But because the colonizers came to our land, they introduced a form of commerce. But now you need a license. A license is a permission. Okay? We have traveled our land from centuries to centuries, and we never needed a license. But they came and introduced what's called commerce, commercial codes, where you need licenses for everything. You need permission. So the name, the legal name that you have, you could use it to do commerce. You could use it to do commerce, but you have to abide by the statutes and codes if you are using it to do commerce, because we are caught up in a system where they are the majority in terms of power. They got the guns. You know what I'm saying? They are the ones in politics. They own the bank system, right? So they have the so-called power. So they are imposing those things on us. All right? Oh, you need a license to eat. You need a license to breathe. You need a license to walk. You need a license to do everything. Now, I am not promoting that people travel or drive without a seatbelt. But that's not a law. It's a code. If I choose to drive around without a seatbelt and I want to endanger my life, that's my prerogative. But you see, you get tickets for those things. Now, I'm not encouraging that. Of course, safety first. But people have free will. And you cannot impose your statutes and codes on them. So those codes are not laws. They are statutes. They are ordinances. They are policies. And who do they have in place to enforce the policies? It is the same thing. The police, the policy. It is the same word, same root meaning. They are synonymous. Okay? They are synonymous. So yes, you could take control of that legal entity, that legal name, and let them know that you have possession of it. That it's not you, but you possess it. In other words, you are doing business as, because we are all doing business as that legal name. It's not you. It's a DBA, doing business as. So therefore, if my parents name me John Doe, then every time I go for a job, I fill out an application, I am doing business as John Doe, but I am not John Doe, because John Doe is a fictitious entity. I hope that makes sense. It is not real. It only exists in a paper world. It is not you. But every time you say it's you, you are held liable for all the actions that that legal entity does, whether it may be deemed legal or illegal or unlawful. And there's a difference between lawful and legal. Okay? Legal deals only with the paper world, the bar association, the legal society. Okay? And you have to know that. Romeo and Juliet, for instance, even in the story, they have always told you, see, they break it down, and all that stuff, I break it down in the book. Get your copy of the book. The link is below. Okay? We don't have real names. We don't have real names. If you look in the hood, how many of us go by the names that our parents give us? Because within our soul, it doesn't resonate with us. We always have a nickname. That's why Jesus is a nickname for Yeshua. But y'all got to read between the lines, brothers and sisters. You got to read between the lines. That's why Jesus, the man, knew that the physical man is the given name, and he had to be anointed to the Christ. And I'm speaking the allegorical, the metaphysical meaning of those things. And I'm actually in the process right now writing another book, breaking down the Bible. So for all these people that are caught up in the mix, you don't know if you want to be a Christian, you don't know if you want to be a Muslim, you don't know what's true, you want to be in, you want to be out. I'm going to break it all down for you so that you would be able to live your life in truth and not get caught up in purgatory. So that's the next book I'm working on. I'm going to break down all the metaphysical meaning of all those words. Jesus Christ, God, Jehovah, I am, Adam, Eve. I'm going to break all that down for y'all. Because my goal is to help you free yourself. I cannot free you. I could only plant the seed. I could only give you the information for you to free yourself. Now, what you do with the information is up to you. But I tell people, yes, knowledge is power, but what's more powerful is the implementation of the knowledge. What do you do with it to change your life, to make you a better man or woman? At the ending of the day, no matter what you call yourself, it's all a title. But I know one thing for sure, that the Most High created man and woman, and that's it, point blank. And the covenant was made between man and woman to have dominion over everything. So I'm not going to let no government control me when I'm the creator of the government. Y'all got it twisted. They're going to have to take me out first. And I'm cool with that. So that's why I said I'm not going to betray my ancestors for any pieces of silver. I used to have a GoFundMe. It's still there. I don't put it up for a reason. You know why? Because all the work that I'm doing, all the information that I'm doing, I shouldn't have to tell you go support it. But because I have it, people have a problem with that. Every other ethnic group support their own for teaching their people. But when we do it, it's a problem. Oh, we hustling. Oh, we scamming. So I say, you know what? I'm not going to put up no GoFundMe no more. But there's a book with the information. I don't want nothing free from nobody. Okay? It's about barter, the barter system. I have a book, you get it, you have a free gift of $20, you give it. That's it. I don't want nothing from nobody. I don't want nobody to say I owe them, because our people are hurt. They're damaged. Okay? They're damaged. And they don't see the value in what people like me do. And I'm not talking about everybody, because I'm certainly sure a lot of people see the value in that. But my question to you is, how do you reciprocate? Do you think sitting around, don't you think I should be at a 9 to 5 right now so that I could pay my bills? But here I am teaching you, giving you the knowledge, because I know it's important. That's what's going to be needed for you to free yourself. How many people you see giving you the information I'm giving you right now? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I don't care what they say. How many of them doing it? And this is not a competition to see whose nuts is bigger. I don't care about that. I'm just here to give you the information. That's it. Period. So if you feel you want to support, great. If you don't, man, I don't care, man. I'm good. I'm going to be all right. But like I said, the link for the book is below. All that stuff is explained in detail. All right. It's going to open up your mind. Okay. It's going to open up your mind. So let us proceed. All right. So now we are talking about the Real ID Act. Okay. So we know that it's an act. And we know that there's no such thing as a real ID, because we have broken that down. Okay. I have broken that down in detail. So don't allow your so-called territory, which is a state, to fool you. Because remember, every man and woman is an estate. It's a state of mind. So when they say you live in the state of New York, you hear the song, right? In a New York state of mind. Because that's the estate. It's the state of mind that you are in. So whatever the rules and regulations and the jurisdiction of that particular so-called territory, okay, it becomes your state of mind. So all those statutes and codes becomes your law, which is not a law. It is only a policy. But because enough people they're not standing up against this beastly system, they get fearful. So one man, yes, could make a difference. And I'm making a difference by giving you the knowledge. Now it's up to you to go out there and apply it. You see, that's how we win. That's how we win. But my question to you is, what state of mind are you in? Are you in your own state of mind, or are you in a Delaware state of mind, a Philly state of mind, a California state of mind, a New York state of mind, a Georgia state of mind? Because those states have policies, and those policies become your reality, because every man and woman is an estate. And if you allow people to control your estate, they become your governors. That's why every state have a governor to govern your state of mind. But you should be the governor of your own estate, which is your temple, your I am. That's your property. That's your person. This body is a person that belongs to your spirit. It is the home of the I am in you. And no man or woman or any institution or any corporation or any entity have a right to trespass on your property and take it and wrest it. Arrest. You get it? Arrest. I'm breaking things down for y'all today. When the police arrest you, what they're telling you is you need a rest. So what they do, they put you in a box because you are acting up. You're acting up. You're not abiding by the policies. So they send the policy enforcer to give you arrest. Arrest. Are y'all hearing me right now? Because it's one thing to listen. It's another thing to hear. So I tell a police officer, I don't need arrest. So you cannot arrest me. I don't need arrest. Did I ask you for arrest? Do I look tired to you? Do I look exhausted? Man, I'm in physical shape. I don't need arrest. In fact, I want to run. But you have to know the language, brothers and sisters. You have to know the knowledge. You have to know how to articulate yourself. You have to learn how to stand on your square, like the Moors would say. I love my Moorish brothers and sisters because they drop knowledge. What I don't like is you telling me I'm a Moor. So you have to get it. You have to get it. Everything is a policy. It's a voluntary system. It's voluntary. That's why we are volunteering ourselves. When you have a license, okay, a license is a permission to do. I don't need permission to travel my land. The Most High gave me dominion over everything. We shouldn't be paying tolls. That's unlawful, but they made it legal. Until we, the people, stand up and say enough is enough, they are going to continue to abuse your creator-given rights. All those tolls that's within our country, Indian country, those are private corporations milking us out, using us, abusing us. You know why? Because we allow them to. Nobody's taking a stand. Everybody's afraid. Why are you afraid? Because you're afraid they might put a gun to your head? So what? Put a gun to my head. Now, I'm not telling you be suicidal now. I'm not saying that, because a lot of you like to misconstrue people's words, and especially them haters. They would take one or two words and go put it in another video and say, Chief Kalanago said this. What, you afraid they're going to tase you? What, you afraid they're going to blow your head off? I'm not afraid of that. Because this body is just a tool, man. It's like a car. If I'm in my car traveling and somebody hit the car, they didn't hit me, they hit the car. It's the same thing. It's just the body. So don't be afraid of the beast. Don't be afraid. And they know that's the nature of the American Aborigine. That's why they have to weaken you. That's why they have to put all your men in dresses. That's why they have to put all your men playing sports. Because they got to keep them distracted, got them playing with balls. So y'all have to realize what's going on. Because they know the heart and mind of the American Aborigine. They know that they have never won a physical war against us, no matter what they have. Because we always going to win. But they attack your spirit, like Tommy said. They attack your awareness of who you truly are. That is the spirit. Okay? That is the spirit. I was on the bus earlier, and like I said, I have nothing wrong against Caucasians, but they need to step up and be aware that they are slaves as well. They are slaves as well. And they are moving into Brooklyn, right? Gentrifying Brooklyn. And they on the bus with these so-called black people, and you would see them when our people step on the bus. They give this fake condescending smile. It's not real. Then you sit next to them, they squeeze themselves in the corner like they don't want this dark skin to touch them, like you're going to get them dirty. But yet still, they still want to be in the hood, coming in, taking what's yours. When they are the real black people, not us, because we ain't black. They are the real pale people. Man, we better open up our minds and our hearts to the truth, man. Okay? We better wake up, and don't just wake up. Like I tell people, there's different levels of waking up. Okay? People get up in a bed and they stretch, they yawn, they rub their eyes. They still ain't up yet. I mean, they are conscious to a certain extent, but they're still in the bed. They haven't gotten out of the bed. They turn, they toss, they pick up their phone, they turn the TV on, they're still in bed. They're not walking yet. So my thing to you is, don't just wake up. Start walking. Start running. It's only when your feet hit the ground, and even when you get off the bed and your feet hit the ground, what do? You still start making up your mind. Damn, I don't want to get up. I want to go back to bed. So you sit there for a minute. You toss, you turn, you stretch, you do a little something. You wipe your eyes some more. And then you finally get up. And even when you get up, you stand up, you still don't want to walk. You're still thinking, damn, I'm tired. I want to hit that bed. There is different levels to waking up. It's only when you hit that door, jump in the shower, and you get out your house, that's when you start moving. But until you are in that house, okay, then you are not woke and walking yet. And you better realize that and recognize that. Because everybody's talking about I'm woke, but they're still slaves. How could you be woke and you a slave? Like it doesn't equate. You see, it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction. Now, I could get it if you are putting things in place to free yourself. I could get that because at some point we still have to assimilate. We don't have the manpower to go hard like that, but we have ways to maneuver ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Do it in increments. You don't have to rush it. Everybody want to rush everything. Chief, I want this now. Chief, I want that now. Everybody want this microwave effect when we have been dealing with this for over 600 years in our land, and spiritually another 2,000 years since the introduction of this so-called Jesus. So do you think it's going to happen overnight? No, it's not. But because you were taught this microwave effect, I want it now. I don't want it cooked. I want it half cooked. I want that radiation because I want cancer. You know, y'all got to take your time, okay, and learn the information, master the information. So when you step into that fictitious world called the legal system, you know how to beat it. You know how to win every single time because it's a game, okay? Court. A court. Where do they play games? They play games on a court. Here's another analogy. When you court a girl or a girl court a man, what do? You are playing. They're romanticizing you. So you go over there playing the little games. You want to play lawyers. And a lot of these people want to play lawyers. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a part of the bar association. I don't want to be a lawyer, but I know how to win because I'm not playing the games that they play. And that's what I'm trying to teach y'all. Stop allowing the system to romanticize you. They are courting you. They're blowing in your ear. Okay, you feel sensitive. Oh, they tickle your fancy. And you think your lawyer, right? Your lawyer, your attorney, right? He's on your side. So he blowing your ear. Oh, I'm going to give you roses. Oh, I'm going to take you out to dinner. Oh, that's what you have to do. I know it's going to hurt, but let me just take my time with it. That's what they do. They court you until you strike that deal and the judge say, take them away for 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, or let them pay a fine for $20,000. I mean, yes, Bobby, I've already explained the District of Columbia, what that is, you know, the United States in videos. And in the book, I broke that down. It's in the book. Like I tell people, the knowledge is in the book. No, it's either you want to get it and learn how to free yourself or you don't. You know, I cannot put everything on video. In fact, I can, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Y'all can't pay me to do that. You see what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, I'm giving you enough information so that you could start your journey. We still have a long way to go. Okay? We still have a long way to go. We have work to do. Okay? And there's no need to be afraid, brothers and sisters. There's no need to be afraid. Okay? And for all you Caucasians, you Asians, all you other ethnic groups, you are slaves as well. Okay? You are slaves as well because you have a birth certificate. All right. Now, let us proceed. Enough with the sentimental talk right now. All right. Let's get into this. What should I go into right now? Okay, cool. Let us get into this right here. Cool. I'm going to share this with you guys, okay? Now, like I said, this is cool. You got to teach your children. All right? Teach your children. That's the only way this is going to happen. Now, you hear police officers always saying, oh, well, I want your ID. I want your identification. If you don't, they want to drag you out your car, right? Now, they are the ones breaking the law. They are, but here's the difference. They are upholding the legal system. You see the trick? What they are doing is legal. My brothers and sisters, and just people in general, I hope that you are paying attention. What they are doing is legal, but it's unlawful. Okay? Learn the difference. what they are doing is legal, that it all exists on paper. It's a policy, it's a code, it's a statute, it's an act. A police officer, the man, take for instance, the man John Doe is acting as a police officer. He is not a police officer because the Creator didn't make him a police officer. That's a career that he chose. Now, y'all have to know the difference. And that's why a lot of times when a lot of people try to sue a police officer, they don't win because it's an act, it's not real. However, when you sue the man, John Doe, you win. Don't sue the police officer. You see the difference? Because he's acting as a police officer. John Doe act as a police officer. So therefore, whatever they do, it's legal. However, it's not lawful. And we have to learn the difference. Okay? So we're going to start from the top. The police officer swears by oath to uphold the United States Constitution as an officer of the law. Supreme Court decisions are considered the law of the land in regards to constitutionally protected rights, and they cannot be interpreted or reinterpreted as they are stare decisis already reviewed and clearly described as law. So the constitutional laws, the Supreme Court laws are the laws of the land. That's why they are the ironclad. They are in place to protect the people. But they are not in place to protect legal fictions, legal entity, that legal person that you claim to be, that legal name that you claim that's not you. The Constitution doesn't protect you. That's why they get to abuse you. Okay? Supreme Court case, Colander versus Lawson, and go look it up yourself. 461 U.S. 352 1983, in which the United States Supreme Court ruled that a police officer could not arrest a citizen merely for refusing to present identification. There is no such thing as failure to identify because that's not your name. That is not the real you. The real you is the spirit. And remember that in 1985, I think, or 1983, the U.S. Supreme Court, okay, there was a legislation, Congress passed that that's the year of the Lord, the Bible. We are being governed by ecclesiastic laws. So therefore, they are acknowledging that the only true law is the law of the Most High. Brothers and sisters, it's very simple. When you know the knowledge and you apply the knowledge and you hold them accountable. Go look it up. The Supreme Court ruled a police officer could not arrest a citizen merely for refusing to present identification. There is no such thing as failure to identify. You can sue the police for an illegal arrest, resist arrest with impunity. Let us look at that word impunity, what it means. I know what it means, but we're going to look it up just for, you know, let's look it up here. Okay? Impunity. Definition. Impunity. Definition of impunity. And that's the law. Okay? Exemption from punishment or freedom of injurious consequences of an action. Okay? You see that? It's right here it's bold. You can sue the police for illegal arrest and resist arrest with impunity, meaning that I could resist arrest and not be persecuted for that because when I know my rights. But again, be very mindful that a lot of these so-called cops are ignorant of the law. They know the legal system, they know the codes, but they don't know the law. So still, I'm not saying that for you to go out there and be belligerent. I'm not saying that for you to go out there and disrespect cops. Cops have a job to do like everybody else. They get up and go to work. It's a job. They have bosses. They do what they are being told. But they don't know, most of them don't know the law. They are not aware of what real law is. They know the legal system. They know the codes because that's what they are taught. Oh, well, you're violating code 599. You're violating code 321. That's what they know, codes. They are programmed. No disrespect. My brother is a cop as well. Okay, so there's no such thing as failure to identify, but we have to educate the people. Okay, I'm just going to read a few of them. And again, all that information is in the book. An illegal arrest is an assault and battery. You hear that? An illegal arrest is an assault and battery. The person attempted to be restrained of his liberty has the same right to use force in defending himself he would in repelling any other assault and battery. In other words, like any other person who's attacking you, you have a right to defend yourself, even if it's a cop. And that's a U.S. Supreme Court law, State versus Robinson, 145 ME 77 72 80 ATL 261. Each person has the right to resist an unlawful arrest in such a case. The person attempting the arrest stand in the position of the wrongdoer. In other words, the police officer is the wrongdoer and may be resisted by the use of force as in self-defense. State versus Mobley, 240, North Carolina, 472, 83, Southeast, 2D, 100. Okay? And like I said, all that stuff is in the book. So you have to get the knowledge. It is the only way that this is going to manifest, by the people educating themselves. Okay? That is the goal. That is the key. So we have to know the difference between legal and lawful. And what they're doing is unlawful. And it's only happening to you because you allow it, because you say that you are that legal entity. You are saying that you are that fake entity. You are that legal person. That's what you were saying. Because nobody's forcing you to do it. When you present an identification with that first, middle, and last name, there you go, already stating that that's you. Okay, that's you. Now we're gonna go into some other information that I think it's pertinent. I think that you guys should know. Let me just close this off right here, and let's get into something else. Okay, yes, we are the supreme law of the land, the original people, because we had all these systems in place before they got here. But the truth of the matter is that's the reason why they spend so much time trying to disenfranchise us, trying to misclassify us, because they don't want us to know that we are the supreme law of the land. Okay, we are the natural custodians of this land. All right, we are. Okay, so here we are now. Let us get into some more information where I have that at. Give me a second, guys. All right, let me get into this. I know I had it somewhere, but let me pull that up for you, because I normally put some, some things aside I'm going to cover for the lecture purposes. All right. Okay, there we go. All righty, close that, and let's get back to that. And we're going to get into some things here. All right, cool. Let me bring that back up. So I hope everybody is following me today. All right. Hope everybody's following me today. I hope you guys are appreciating this. Like I said, that's information that's needed. All right. That's information that's needed. Once again, the link for the book is below. All that stuff is in detail in the book and a whole lot more. All right. My goal is to show you how to win. My goal is to show you how to navigate as a man and a woman and win every time. Peace, Aboriginal Lone Wolf. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again with you guys, and let's see some of the things that's been done. All right, where's that at? Okay, cool. I'm sharing the screen again. All right, good. I know you guys could see this, so I'm not going to assume that you can. I know you can. All right, because I could see it on the screen. Now, this right here is colonial laws divide and conquer. Example of laws. Okay, again, everything is about divide and conquer. And that's why a lot of people get in the state of mind or the frame of mind. When we say who we are, they want to tell us who we are not, because they are playing the game of the colonizers. They still want to divide and conquer us. All right. The truth is, I want to be able to stand by my righteous Caucasian brothers and sisters. I want to be able to stand by my righteous, Asian brothers and sisters who know that they are slaves to take down this beast. because we are all enslaved through the birth certificate. So the Caucasians are not exempt. They are lost, just like the so-called Negroes or the so-called black man. Okay? The Asians are lost as well. The only thing is difference is that they hold the position of the house slaves, and we still keep playing the field slaves. But we need to get back in that house and start changing those rules as the masters, because we are the masters. This is our home. And the political system, they learned that from us. They adapted it from us. And again, all that information is in the book. All right? Colonial laws, divide and conquer. Example of laws. Because today's racial division runs so deep in the United States, we tend to think of them as normal. Again, it's not normal. If you teach people things for so long, it becomes the norm. It doesn't mean it's normal. Okay? We allow it to be normal. However, there is a cause for everything, and it is not always as simple as you might think. One, predict the measures that were taken to keep Indians and blacks from uniting. Again, there was a differentiation between Indians and blacks, because when they came, they saw the copper-colored races. They didn't call us blacks. They called the African blacks. But after a while, that name was a name that they called all of us. Okay? But they knew exactly what they were doing, because the only way for the so-called African man that they call the black man and the copper-colored man, which they call the red man, us, the Indians, how could we unite? Obviously, if we were different, we were so different. In other words, if the Indians were pale, then it would be kind of like easy to know the difference, right? But they couldn't tell the difference. And that's how we were able to save some of our African brothers and sisters, some of these same Moors, because we took them in as well. Okay? And they passed as Indians as well. So measures were put in place to prevent the Indians, we the Indians, and our brothers that are so-called black from Africa from uniting, or that may have even made them to feel hostile towards one another. And look, wasn't that what I was experiencing yesterday? My brothers and sisters, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay? The colonizers are always at work. Okay, so we're here now. This is where I'm at. I hope you can see the cursor. Come on, man. All right, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. All right, give me a second. That's where I'm at. I'm getting some water. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. I just wanted some water. Felt a little parched. All right, so here I am now. I'm gonna read. Give me a second. 1. As one white Carolinian put it, and again, nobody's white. Okay, this, you see where I'm pointing on the cursor right there? This is actually white. I have never seen an individual who looks like this. So we have to get away from those political terms and statuses giving people superiority over us. This is white. Okay, and the truth is, white signifies purity, and that was us. The concept of white, angels wearing white, that was us. Okay, and the role, of course, was reversed and it was taken, and black was them, the pale people. All right, but I've explained that in videos before, so I'm not gonna beat that horse. All right, but as every time I see white, I'm gonna say pale. As one pale Carolinian put it, we need a policy to make Indians and Negroes check upon each other, lest by their vastly superior numbers, we should be crushed by one or the other. You hear that? We were superior in numbers. I'm showing you facts here. We were superior in numbers, and there was a distinction between the Indians, we, the copper-colored people, the red so-called man, and the Negroes. Until we were all, they started calling us Negroes. Again, those are terms that we were called. Laws were passed to prohibit free blacks from traveling Indian country. That's right, our country. Treaties with Indian tribes required the return of fugitive slaves. So again, I'm going to be honest. Because of the situation that we were in, our ancestors had to sign treaties because wars was going on. People was dying left and right in battles. There had to be some type of common ground. So treaties were signed, all right? And we had to return some of those fugitives because they came, the so-called Negroes, the so-called blacks, they came to us for rescue. But in order to keep some type of peace, we had to return some of the fugitives. I mean, am I proud of that? No. But in war, sometimes, you had to do what you had to do. Okay? Yes, some of our ancestors sold some of our own aborigines to to the enemy. Yes. It wasn't just the Moors. I'm not proud of that. I'm not. And if I have any of that bloodline in me, man, I guess it's wiped out because I don't have that in my nature. I cannot sell out my people. I will not sell out my ancestors. I can't do that. All right. Number two, a 1683 New York law made it a crime for Negro or Indian, you hear that? Negro or Indian slaves to meet anywhere together in groups of 4 or more to be armed with guns, swords, clubs, staves, or any other kind of weapon. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do they always speak of the Indian and the Negro together? It's because they had the same complexion. It was kind of hard to tell them apart. So that's why they wanted to separate them. But y'all going to learn today, proving again that the so-called natives are not the Aborigines because they were never in the picture. Okay? Number three, in 1690, Connecticut law forbade Indians and blacks from walking beyond the town limits without a pass. A pass. Nowadays, don't you need a pass for everything? A hall pass, a school pass, a work pass. We are still under the rule of the colonizers, my brothers and sisters. Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts all had 9 p.m. curfew for blacks and Indians. Blacks and Indians. So therefore, it's telling you that we were not called the black people. We were the copper-colored races that was found here by the Europeans. Number four, a 1773 New York law was passed to prevent Negro and Indian slaves from appearing in the streets after 8 at night without a lantern with a lighted candle in it. Number five, like I said, wherever I see white, I'm going to say pale. Pale often hired local Indians to hunt down escaped African slaves. Yes, a lot of our people, all right, and here's the narrative here. A lot of these so-called African slaves came here, okay, as indentured servants, okay? A lot of them came here with the colonizers and struck deals. They're gonna come as indentured servants, servitude for 7 years, and then a deal would be struck. They would get some land and learn to live free as citizens. That's what a lot of these Moors did. But the pale man didn't uphold their part of the treaty. So the so-called African man, a lot of those so-called Moors became slaves. And yes, the so-called pale man hired some of our ancestors to hunt down some of our African cousins, brothers, and sisters who were Moors that escaped slavery. And that's the truth. Am I proud of that? No. Because even if a lot of them had betrayed us, just like how a lot of our people had betrayed our own people, we still, as honorable men and women, we still should have protected our cousins. Now, call me stupid and foolish for that, but that's just the nature of the American Aborigine. And maybe that's the reason why, we are in the situation we are today, because we were too trusting. But anyway, let me continue. In 1776, Maryland offered rewards to Indians for capturing black slave runaways. In 1740, South Carolina offered Indians 100 pounds. Now, that's a lot of money. In 1740, do you know how much a pound is right now? A pound is literally $4 and change. So we're talking about almost $500 in, of course, the equivalence to, the money transfer today in 1740. Each slave runaway captured alive and 50 pounds for each scalp of a crowned Negro slave. So it wasn't just the Indians that were being scalped after a while, okay? It was the Negro slaves as well. So there is a lot of hurt between us and our African brothers and sisters, especially those that came here and called themselves the Moors. There is still some type of bitter feeling and animosity amongst the two cousins, two sisters' children. So I'm not mad at them for still trying to take our birthright and calling us their names. I'm not mad at that. But I'm here to tell the people the truth. Show them the true history, what happened. Number 6, in 1729, South Carolina hired Catawba Indian to recapture or kill enslaved blacks who had rebelled in Stony, South Carolina. So my brothers and sisters, you see the deep history, okay? You see the animosity that was happening between two sisters' children, the American continent and the African continent. They know the history. They know. And that's why your birthright is still trying to be taken. Opposed to saying, you know what, let bygones be bygones. We know the past happened. We were put in a predicament. We were put in an uncompromising position, and we had to do what we had to do. We saw the outcome of that. We are living it today. We both are being oppressed. We both are colonized. Why don't we forget that what happened in the past? Not forget it, but let's forgive each other for it, and let's move on and unite. But no. They want to still force us to be who we are not. I'm an American Aborigine, Anianwea, Cherokee, Carib, Choctaw, and I'm proud to be that. And nobody's going to take that away from me. 7. Oops, I went too far. In 1725, South Carolina outlawed bringing any black slaves to the frontier. As the British colonial said, the slaves talk good English as well as Cherokee language. You hear that? How could the slaves speak good English? To often tell falsities to the Indians, which are apt to believe. Now, I'm gonna. You see, this is very important here. This is very important here. Okay. Once again, Chief Kalanago is showing y'all the facts, not the feelings, not the opinions. I'm showing you the facts. Let us read number 7 again. In 1725, South Carolina outlawed bringing any blacks to the frontier. Now we know who the blacks are, okay? Our so-called brothers and sisters from the African continent, whether they came here freely or as servants, or they were brought here against their own free will. But those were a lot of the Moors, okay? As a British colonial said, the slaves, they spoke good English. Now, where the hell they learned the language of the pale man? Yes, we spoke Ing, but we never spoke Glish. But they spoke Glish, and guess what? They also spoke the Cherokee language, because Cherokee is not a people. Cherokee is a language. Because you know why? We taught them. They have always been here with us. But they also spoke the town of the beast, which was the Glish, the English. It's right here in black and white. Prove me wrong. Too often tell falsities to the Indians, which they're apt to believe. Number 8, a large number of Indians were sold as slaves to the West Indies. Yes, like I said, the slaves, a large number of slaves were sold. In a single year, over 10,000 sold were shipped in chains to the West Indies from the port of Charleston, South Carolina. That's why a lot of us in the so-called West Indies, we have our DNA that's traced back into the mainland, because our ancestors didn't come from Africa. Y'all gonna learn today. Number 9, the British sent black troops to fight the Natchez Indians in the Yamasee War of 1715. in New Orleans, the governor sent armed blacks to massacre Choctaw Indians. So what they were doing is they were using our African brothers and sisters, the Moors, okay, to fight against us the same way they were using us to fight against our brothers and sisters from Africa, the Moors as well. So as you could see, there is a deep-rooted history where we were fighting each other to save face. Survival of the fetus. All I'm just saying is today in 2018, okay, we know that some of y'all, yes, claim to be Moors, but you're from Africa, okay? And the Aborigines, we still here. And some of y'all Aborigines call yourself Moors. Yes, it's cool. That's nothing wrong with that. But know that there's a difference. Don't tell us who we are. And stop trying to colonize us. You're doing the same thing that the colonizers are doing. Yes, they used us against each other, man. Let us stop playing these games in 2018. Let us speak the truth. And let us get over this hump. Because we are all going through the same. It's time for unity. And some people will never get it. But I'm here to tell the truth. Number 10, the British encouraged the so-called 5 civilized tribes. Again, the so-called. All right, the Cherokee, the Creek, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, and the Seminole. All those are languages, but they made them people to enslave Africans. All right, that's why, again, this Moors, and I'm not here to beat Moors. I'm just speaking the truth. That's why the Moors today, all right, they want us to be called Moors because they want us to pay for some of the things that we did. When in the first place, they brought the colonizers here. We didn't bring them here. So all I'm just saying is let bygones be bygones. Okay? Let bygones be bygones. Because Abraham Lincoln did not abolish slavery. My ancestors did. The Cherokee Nation abolished slavery. And they give credit to Abraham Lincoln. So we freed y'all. As the Pales were doing. Ultimately, slaves made up between 10 to 20% of all 5 groups, but the Seminoles. The Cherokee adopted a slave code to prevent blacks from learning to read and write, and provided that if a slave ran off, other tribe members were obligated to catch the runaway. Slavery contributed to inequality within each Indian nation. Only a relative small elite of 12% of the Cherokees owned slaves because we were against it. And that's why we were the first ones to abolish it, the Cherokee Nation. So when y'all talking, I'm showing facts. I'm showing proof. Like I said, facts over feelings. All right? And it's time to unite. Learn the history. Learn that we all played a role. We all fought each other. So at what point we're going to say, you know what, let's forget that. We're in 2018 and we're still dealing with the colonizers. We know we brought them to your land. You know what? Forgive us for that. And let's move on. 2, predict laws or policies adopted to discourage white indentured servants and black slaves from running away together. All right? Because and one thing I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't wake up and put and handle your business, guess what? We are all going to be in the same concentration camps together, just like how it was in the past, side by side, trying to figure out how to fight the same slave master, okay, or the same colonizer rather, because they were not really slave masters, for the most part, because we weren't slaves in such magnitude like they let us think we were. Number 2, predict laws or policies adopted to discourage pale indentured servants. Remember, there were pale slaves as well. Okay, in fact, they were the first slaves that was enslaved by the Moors in Europe and in Britain, and they wanted to escape the Moors, and they came to our land. So I'm teaching y'all, I'm giving y'all the real truth. Okay, hey, and that's why they're doing what they're doing today, and they're just classifying everybody as black. Y'all pale people, we didn't do that to y'all. Okay. 1661, Virginia law prohibited that in case any English servant shall run away in company of any Negroes, he would have to suffer extra years of servitude to the master of the escaped slave. Number 3, A, predict how poor pales and pale indentured servants were taught to believe that they were superior to and didn't have anything in common with the blacks. And when I say blacks, again, they're not talking about the Aborigines. They are talking about our brothers and sisters from the African continent. All right. One, all pales were encouraged to believe that they were superior to so-called blacks, and laws were passed that underscored their superiority. For example, a 1723 Maryland law provided for cutting of the ears of any so-called black person who struck a so-called us white person, but I'm going to say pale person. Number two, a Virginia colonial law sentenced pales to 25 lashes for stealing a pig, but increased it to 39 lashes if a person were so-called black or Indian. Three, poor pales were enlisted to hunt down runaway slaves and were put on slave patrols. The same thing is happening today. Okay, the so-called pales are still slaves, but they are in a better position. Most of them financially, politically, they are the house slaves. So you see, and they are the ones keeping you in check. So there is nothing new under the sun. Like I said, all I could do is show you the facts. Facts over feelings. Number four, 1705, Virginia law required that when a pale servant period of indenture was over, a master must provide men with 10 bushels of corn, 30 shillings and a gun, and women with 15 bushels of corn and 40 shillings. The freed servants were also to be given 50 acres of land. Again, they were the house slaves, and that's how our land was allocated to these people. Number five, after Bacon's rebellion in 1776, amnesty was given to pales, but not to the Africans. And that's why they didn't want to be treated, okay, like us. Those of us who were enslaved called Negroes. So they wanted to be citizens. That's why treaties were signed. Okay, treaties were signed, okay, with Morocco, saying that, you know what, those are our subjects and they don't want to be treated as slaves, as the so-called Negroes. So they want amnesty just like the so-called Caucasians, the so-called pale man. They want to be citizens of the United States. Number six, white servants were given numerous advantages not given to so-called blacks, including the right to testify against their master in court if they were not treated properly. 3B, predict how so-called blacks and pales were kept separate so that pales would not even imagine getting together with so-called blacks. 1A, or 1. A 1691 Virginia law prohibited that any pale man or woman being free who shall intermarry with a Negro, mulatto, or Indian man or woman, bond or free, shall be banished. Okay? You wasn't allowed to go up in their women. Their men wasn't allowed to go up in, well, yes, they were going up in our women by force. But today, you know what? Hey, I guess love is love, huh? I'm going to leave that alone. Number 2, Virginia, Massachusetts, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, and Georgia all passed laws prohibiting interracial marriage. Okay? In number 3, in southern colonies, according to historian Joseph P. Cullen, if a pale female indentured servant had a child by a so-called black man, she would be punished by public whipping, and her period of indenture would be doubled. Yep. Number 4, predict the measures adopted to ensure that on every plantation there were enough pales overseers in relation to so-called black slaves. How might pale owners have found more pale indentured servants to help supervise so-called blacks? 1, in 1698, South Carolina passed a deficiency law that required every plantation owner to have at least 1 pale servant for every 6 adult so-called black slave. Okay? They were always put in your midst, always put in your mix so that they could rat you out. At least one pale servant in the mix of every 5 male, right? Because they had to befriend you. They had to gain your trust. Isn't that what's happening today? They got your trust. They're taking over everything you own because you trust. Oh, they're gonna make our neighborhoods better. Yeah, right. They're gonna kick you out your neighborhoods. Number two, as Howard Zinn points out, servants were acquired from Great Britain and later from Ireland and Germany by lures, promises, lies by kidnapping. Kidnappers would sell servants to the highest bidder in the American colonies. Number three, in 1717, the British Parliament made transportation to the American colonies a legal punishment for committing certain crimes. Tens of thousands of convicts were sent to Maryland, Virginia, and other colonies. All right. So once again, all I'm saying is that I'm just here to show you the truth. Documentation beats conversation. Okay? Documentation beats conversation. And I'm here to show you the documents. Now, you do what you want to do with it, man. Okay? I'm not here to make you believe anything because in the word believe there is lie. I am here to drop facts. Facts over feelings. Okay? So now you see why there is a resentment, okay, within certain people that classify themselves as certain things and the American Aborigines. They are still trying to help the colonizers colonize us. Even if they know they are Aborigines. Some of them are still lost. Because to them it's a cult. They're going based on what they hear and not what they know. But I'm showing you the facts. I'm showing you the information. So, with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. I've been on for over 2 hours, dropping them jewels, all right? And once again, let me make my disclaimer. I have nothing against my brothers and sisters who call themselves Moors, but I'm just here to tell the truth. I know that history of the situation that we were in, it was about survival of the fittest. I get it. Okay? My ancestors helped enslave your ancestors. Your ancestors helped sell out my ancestors. Okay? And I get it. I get it. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, you brought them to our land. And you never stood up and apologized to us for doing that. I could only speak for myself. I'm not mad at you. All I'm just saying is, don't force us to be what we are not and what we weren't. My ancestors were not Moors. Okay? Yes, we may have some of the bloodline because they mixed in. We mixed. But I'm an American Aborigine with everything else that's mixed. Okay? You brought the curse to our land. Our ancestors warned you. Don't bring the pale man to our land because they saw it in vision. There are oral traditions among my people that I know of that spoke of the coming of the pale man. And that they would be coming, you would be bringing them. And my ancestors warned you, don't bring the pale man to our land, and you still brought them. You did. And we trusted you. So this hurt and pain has been going on for centuries. It is time for us to heal. I forgive you for what you have done to my ancestors. And I ask for your forgiveness for what my ancestors have done to yours. Okay? But it's time to move on. It is time to heal. We all have the same oppressor now. We all have the same colonizer now. You saw what happened because of the betrayal that you went through because you brought them here. You signed deals. Sold us out for 20 pieces of silver and some land. And to fit in with the Joneses. And they didn't honor it because the pale man don't honor anything. And yes, my ancestors were put in a very messed up situation to help enslave or turn over our brothers that look like us. Okay, you know what? It happened. History. Can we forgive each other? That's my point. That's my question. Am I allowed to be who my ancestors were and not be forced to assimilate to another culture or another identity? I mean, Sekhmet Ra, you said no. Well, I forgive because it's the only way to move on. The only thing is, I don't want history to repeat itself. And by you forcing this identity or this so-called nationality on all American Aborigines and say that we are Moors, you are still playing the game that your ancestors played, trying to take over what's ours. Okay? An African could still be an African. An American could still be an American and fight the beast. I love you too, Sekhmet. I appreciate that. But we have to learn to forgive each other, man. Because that's where all this stemmed from. It's a deep history that is not being told. And they are only telling certain parts of the story. You're doing the same thing that the Caucasian man is doing. His story. You're telling your story. Tell the truth. And let our people decide for ourselves. Okay? Every other ethnic group, Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, okay, they come together. Even if I'm certainly sure they have had their differences in the past, but they know it's about survival of the fittest. They come together. Why can't we? Why can't we? Why do we continue to fight each other down? Why you want to cut your nose to spite your face? Because you know it's going to give us back what's ours. It is ours. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. It's not yours. This land is not yours. It's ours. The Most High put us here for a reason. The Most High made the American continent the first landmass to come out of the flood for a reason. The Most High put Egypt here, the first Egypt here, so that every other ethnic group could come learn here for a reason. Allow us to be who we are. Allow us to get back on the throne. It's ours. Or else you will pay a spiritual price. I'm telling you. So stop allowing your physical self to prevent us from stepping back on the throne. By trying to pretend and lie and say that your empire was here. Your empire was never here. No. Your flag only flew here because you joined the colonizers. That's the only reason why your flag flew on our land, is because you was in bed with the colonizers. And the colonizers, the pale man, showed that they couldn't be trusted. So they made you slaves instead of indentured servants. So now you had to run away. And who did you come to? Came back to us. Us. Yeah, your brothers. And we still saved you. So if you're going to tell the story, don't tell half the story. Tell the truth. Sekhmet said that they are never going to treat us right. Well, maybe, maybe not. But I believe there is always a chance for redemption, to repent. Because if you're going to preach peace, love, harmony, and light, you got to come clean with yourselves first. You got to forgive yourselves first, and you have to ask for forgiveness. So America is the promised land. America is the land of milk and honey. America is where they saw the Garden of Eden. Right here. And again, we don't even have to go too far into history to prove that. Where is everybody from the world want to come? Where do they want to come? What do they want? Have you heard anybody ever say, I want the Australian dream? Have you ever heard anybody say, I want the British dream? Have you heard anybody say, I want the Russian dream, the Italian dream, the Portuguese dream? Or even if we all from Africa, have you ever heard somebody say, I want the African dream? No. What do they want? They want the American dream. They want what we had and what we are. But they don't want you to know. They want to be you, but they don't want to be you. They want what you have, but they don't want to be you. Because we have always taught the world. There's a saying that the Moors say that they taught the world. That's not true. The Moors came right here in Egypt to learn. We taught them. And they went and taught the pale man. So if y'all want to know the truth, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Because we've been dealing with each other for centuries, ancient times. Even before there was considered anything such as the New World, we have been here. We are the mothers and fathers of civilization. It is the other way around. So I'm saying, if you're going to tell the truth about the true American Aborigines. Don't tell half our story. Tell the full truth that we taught the world. We taught you, and you taught everybody else. And I could speak that with conviction because I know it's true. I know it's true. With that being said, I'm about to conclude this video. Once again, there's work to be done. It doesn't matter how much information that I give you. At the ending of the day, you have to master the information and learn to apply the information in your life. It is time to save our babies. Okay? It is time to save our children. I'm on the bus earlier and I'm seeing elders standing up on crutches, on canes, and you got men sitting down. The lack of respect that we have for our elders, especially women. We got work to do. So I'm not just on here talking about it. I'm here doing it. And everybody watching, nobody's saying anything. Guess who said something? A big strappy dude. Look like I'm not gonna stereotype. I was gonna say look like he just came from jail, but not everybody who's big went to jail. So, you know, I was gonna put that out there in the universe. So I take that back. I apologize for that thought. But a big strappy brother sitting down, and an elder is right in front of him, all grayed hair up and she on a cane, and dude sitting there, man, and I'm like, damn, he on his phone texting, and nobody's saying nothing. And I had to say, I say, yo, get up and let the elder sit down, bro. And then everybody in the bus is like, yeah. I'm like, why didn't y'all say anything? And he looking at me like, in my mind, bro, I don't care how big you think you are, but just know that I'm gonna speak. And just know that, you know, I ain't no punk you're just gonna jump over, because I already know. I don't care how big you are, I'm taking you down with the quickness, because I don't play that. But I am gonna speak, because that's what I tell people. Take my physical life, I'm gonna speak the truth always. Always. And I'm gonna stand on the truth. Period. So I'm always gonna say something. I'm always gonna put in that work. So all I'm just saying to y'all is this. Don't just get the information and hold on to it. Teach your brother and sister. Teach your children. Be parents. Take the phones away and teach them the true knowledge. Take all the distractions away and teach them the knowledge. That's what we have to do. It's the only way it's going to happen, and no other way. Because you could know everything in your mind. Let me tell you a little story when I was growing up in the islands, right? At the age, I learned to swim at the age of, I think, 5 or 6. Or maybe 7, but I know it was between 5, 6, or 7. And let me tell you how I learned to swim. Okay? On the islands, we had what they call a jetty. All right? A jetty is like a harbor where the ship or boats would come in, right? And they would be anchored. And we would be on the jetty or the harbor, right? And my cousins, man, they were sharks. They would be jumping in the water and swim all the way out. Go, I mean, dive. I'm talking about without no scuba gear or nothing. And I'm at the age of 6, I think, around, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I see them do it every day. I mean, I grew up in the water. You know what I mean? And in my mind, I know how to swim. I mean, I have the perfect stroke, the perfect backstroke. I'm like doing all that, right? In my mind. But I had a fear of the water. Anywhere I went in the water, if it passed my belly button, I started getting nervous. So I could only swim in my mind. So one day, we chilling, everybody diving, and I'm the only one sitting there. I don't want to jump. Everybody's like, jump, jump. I'm like, nah, I'm not jumping. Mike, and I'm not talking about where, when they push you, you could literally stand in the water. I'm talking about, man, if you don't learn to swim, you're going to drown today. Guess what my cousins did? One of my cousins picked me up and threw me in the water because I'm always bragging. I could boast. I could swim in my mind. Let me tell you something. And I'm talking about sea salt water, not fresh water, salt water. And if you take a few gulps of that thing, you will drown. And let me tell you something. When my cousin picked me up, literally, I felt what was already going to happen. Okay? And even before they pushed me, I saw my life flash in front of me. And I told myself instantly, I'm not going to die today. I'm going to swim. And when they pushed me in that water, I was going down. And after I took I would say about maybe 4 or 6, almost 10 gulps of sea water, I felt my life was out. I couldn't breathe. And I said, you know what? Nah, I'm not dying today. And I just calmed myself down. And I saw myself swimming in my head. And I started doing exactly what was in my mind. And from that day on, nobody could keep me away from that harbor. I became one of the best divers and one of the even today, I'm a shark. I could hold my breath underwater for almost 3 minutes. I've timed myself. Maybe even longer. I could probably do it. The point I'm trying to make is, I had the knowledge of how to swim in my mind. But when that day came for the test, I was nervous and scared. I couldn't do it until I was pushed. My back was against the wall. It's either you're going to learn to swim and survive, or we're going to tell our auntie, you jump in the water by yourself and you drown. But I wanted to tell my own story. I didn't want to die that day. So I swam. And up to this present day, I could swim on top of water. I could swim underwater. Just whatever type of, just name it. I could do it. The moral of the story is, having the knowledge in your head is good. Yes, it's good. It's in your subconscious. But what's more powerful is knowing how to apply that knowledge. Even after I took the 6 gulps of water and I felt like I was going to die, guess what I did? I'm like, it's time to apply that knowledge, or else I wouldn't be here telling that story today. It is the same thing with everything that I'm telling you. Everything that I'm giving you, I am giving you the knowledge. But if you don't learn how to apply the knowledge, it is just in your mind. And you will continue to be abused. You will continue to be a slave. Your children will continue to go to jail. You will continue to get citations. And if you don't pay it, you'll go to jail. Those things are not real. They are fake. And you have to learn how to win. Learn to apply the knowledge. And that's what I'm teaching you. Like I said, I'm always ahead of myself when I bring this information. Always ahead of myself. And it's cool. But the truth of the matter is, I'm showing you how to save yourself. I'm showing you how to win. I'm showing you how to beat that beast. And the only way to do it is like the allegorical Jonah. You have to go in the belly of the whale and survive. It's the only way. Okay? So my brothers and sisters, people in general, okay, that resonate with the information, the link for the book is below. Support the book. Okay? We got work to do. We got work to do. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not going to do another video today. All right? That's it. I just wanted to make sure I gave y'all enough information. All right? I'm going to relax myself today. I'm going to do a little workout. I'm going to get me something to eat. I may go to the park. I don't know. All right? Enjoy some of this fresh air. It's not that humid out here today, but I'll wait till the sun goes down a little bit, and I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to have a blissful day. All right? I love y'all, and that's why I do what I do. Okay? Like I said, I don't do this for the likes. I do this for the love. And to any of my Moorish brothers and sisters, okay, I'm not going to apologize for the information. Okay? If it robbed you the wrong way, that I apologize for. But I have to tell the truth. Okay? You are not my enemy. I don't call you my enemy. I believe that together we could come together as a people of the so-called Negroid race and restore our self on the throne all over the world. Okay? But I know that the world is waiting for the American Aborigine to wake up, and I'm just playing my part. Okay? My DNA is fully awake. My chakras are in line. My heart is as light as a feather. My intentions are always pure, so I'm good. I want to teach my brothers and sisters how to be good. Okay? How many of you know what it feels like or have had the experience of an ancestor coming to you like a real person in feathers, in a headpiece, and talking to you? I have experienced that. I know it's real. Okay? I know it's real. So all I'm just saying is be true to yourself. Okay? You could deceive people, but you can't deceive yourself. The I am in you always know the truth. Okay? And treat others the same way you would like to be treated. The Most High came and gave us the covenant. Okay? Be fruitful and multiply. Have dominion over everything. Love each other. Treat each other the same way you would love to be treated. Don't call me a brother and behind my back slander my name. Okay? Don't call me a brother or hate me because I'm an American Aborigine. Like I said, I know who I am. And being an American Aborigine is a spiritual thing. And when I say spiritual thing, meaning that it's the I am in you that have to know that. It's a conviction in your heart that you know. So therefore, when you speak, you will be confident in what you are saying. You will be able to articulate yourself. So that when the agents of the beast, they approach you, you know how to speak. You know what to do. You know what to say. You got to practice. And all that information is in the book. I'm teaching you how to win. I'm teaching you how to be a man and a woman with rights that were given to you by the Creator and what you need to do to protect your rights. Stop being a voluntary slave. Let us stop selling our children into slavery. Teach them the truth. All right? Segment Ra, my information is always in the bottom of the link. My email is always there. Like I said, I want to walk with my brothers and sisters. I am nobody's leader. Okay? I want to walk with the righteous ones. All right, peace and love. Sleeper, I'm waking. All right? So I want to walk with my brothers and sisters. It is time for us to step up and let these people know we are here. We never left because we didn't come, and we are not going anywhere. All right? I'm going to talk to you guys later. Peace, love, harmony, and light.